9:10 here on Kiwi.
Suckling on the teat of tech with Paul Brislen and Wammo on Kiwi.
Yes, let's find out about Paul Brislen's high-tech week from audent.wordpress.com. G'day there, Paul.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well indeed. No surprises in tech news this morning that DSL in South Africa is very slow.
Yes. We always used to joke that it would be faster to send a carrier pigeon, you can't always beat a station wagon full of tapes being driven across the city. Was the other standard sort of sneaker net approach to getting data about the place. But in South Africa, they've actually put it to the test, and Winston, a carrier pigeon with a 4 gigabyte memory stick, made it across. A Durban IT company has pitted him, good old Winston, against Telkom and their ADSL service. Winston the pigeon took 2 hours to get 60 miles. Yeah. And in the same time, the DSL connection, as it said, had sent 4% of the data.
That is shocking.
So it is astonishing, isn't it? That's what the distance of across Auckland, maybe, from North Shore to the bottom end of the Bombay Hills.
Yeah.
To get 4%, 1 gig of data in 2 hours is embarrassing. That's dial-up speed. There's no two ways around it.
So we think things are slow here in New Zealand. Well, not quite that slow.
No, certainly not that slow. There's been a lot of advancement in the last few years, and competition has driven a huge interest in getting faster connection speeds, and I think everybody's seeing the benefit of that at the moment. But that one's quite astonishing. We should try it here. We should get a pigeon. Do we do carrier pigeons in New Zealand? I don't know. I've ever seen.
I'm sure someone does.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
there'll be a society, won't there?
There will, no doubt. I'd love to see that experiment done here.
I think so. I think we do all right because our connection speeds. You get a pretty good connection speed across the city. Of course, the latency with your carrier pigeon is a bit low. The ping from one side of the other city is probably rather extensively long. But that's not the point. You can get the data there quicker by carrier pigeon than by DSL.
Yeah.
All
right, well...
a little bit shy.
I guess disappointing for them, but they do have aliens, so...
That's very true, which I've not managed to see yet.
Oh, you still haven't done that? Oh, yeah.
No, hopeless. I went to see Moon, though, which I highly recommend.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sam Rockwell, a lunar miner, sitting on the moon, 3 years into his contract. There's a knock at the door.
Dun, dun, dun.
It was all very, quite freaky. It's really quite well done. Sam Rockwell's a good actor. He's a very good actor here.
Yeah. Well,
highly recommended.
On to Guitar Hero news, not rock band news. We're not even going to talk about that rock band thing.
No.
That's had plenty of promotion over the past
week.
They
need no help from us.
Kurt Cobain is in the new Guitar Hero 5.
He is, which is rather surprising considering A, he's dead, and B, Courtney Love didn't give anybody permission, apparently, to put him in.
That's right.
The game.
Now,
it's all a bit freaky and eerie, really, if you look at it.
Have you had a look at the avatar, the Kurt Cobain avatar?
I've seen a still from it, and he's decked out like he was in the Unplugged video that we've all seen a million times over. Same clothes, same outfit, and I'm sorry, it's just wrong. It's wrong on so many levels, isn't it? Have you seen him in action?
I've seen a YouTube clip of him in action. It is really weird because he's singing all the songs, right? He's singing.
Yeah. You can use him for anything.
He's doing hip hop, he's doing metal and stuff, and it's just weird. And he looks, it's a splitting image.
That's right. It is, and it's got that weird thing going on that you quite often get with very good quality 3D avatars, where they just look inhuman because there's something not quite right about the eyes, and it's a big struggle for videographers and people making 3D movies. If you've ever seen The Polar Express, everybody looked like The Walking Dead. It was like a movie of zombies. It was actually quite scary after a while.
Yeah.
But this is in that vein, and I think somebody's going to have to pay Courtney an awful lot of money to get out of this one.
You think so? Well,
I think
why
so.
She's still got so much control in that department.
Well, I guess she's in charge of his will, isn't she? She's been in charge of his estate, so that gives her control over the use of his image. Because you can well imagine there are plenty of people who would be out there trying to use images of long dead people to sell their products. I think Elvis makes more money each year now than he ever did when he was alive.
Indeed.
So this would be in a similar vein, I guess.
MJ's going to be there as well. No doubt Michael Jackson will appear in
no
Sing
doubt.
Star or something.
Oh, my goodness, could you imagine it? But, you would think Activision, they're not a small business. You would have thought they would have got this all squared away.
Yeah.
A little bit odd that they didn't get that sorted before launch rather than after.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. I'm not sure I really want to rock out with Kurt Cobain in front of me. I do enjoy the Guitar Hero series. I've got Guitar Hero World Tour, and it's still an awful amount of fun. I can't wait to get the drums. I still haven't got drums. I've just got the guitar, but I'd love to do some drumming. I'm probably not very good, but it's very social,
much, isn't it? Yeah. That's the key to it all, and this, I think, just takes all the fun out of it, really.
Yeah.
Quite fun. Move on
to Apple.
Apple. Speaking of Walking Dead, no, that's terrible. Steve's back. He's got a new liver of a 21-year-old car accident victim. He quipped, and I've got to say, Steve, who's always been quite thin, looks basically like he's been reanimated himself, I'm sorry to say. I presume that's he's got the world's best medical professionals pouring over him, but he did look quite unwell, I thought.
He is an avatar.
Well, you've got to say he's living proof that if you get in ahead of these things, you can presumably save your life, save your own life. But goodness me, he doesn't look like a happy camper. But there he was on stage with all the Apple glitterati arrayed before him, and launching all the new kit.
Now,
and there's been quite a bit of new kit.
Yeah, because there is a lot of new kit, but it's all kind of a little bit ho-hum. But what was
new kit, but the same, isn't it?
Yeah. What was the highlight? Do you think?
I don't know if it's a highlight. It's probably a low light for me. Was the LP? I know. Let's launch the music album. So we've had those in the past, and you can still get them today. And I know nobody buys albums online; they all buy singles. But really, this is just a naked play for cash. And good luck with that. I mean, selling albums, it's hardly rocket science, is it?
What about the new iTunes 9? Have you?
No, I haven't had to play with that. I mean, quite frankly, it's a library decent piece of software for managing your library.
Yep.
And that's it. That's where it starts and ends. What I'd particularly like is if it would sync a little bit better with multiple users on Windows Vista, which I'm still struggling with, bless my cotton socks, so that I didn't have to keep reloading the same songs over and over again, so that my kids can have access to a playlist on the one library. As it is, we've all got our own libraries, which is a bit silly.
Well, they have introduced an easier way to share between computers on a home network with iTunes 9.
That's right, and that assumes you've got more than one computer, so I'm hoping that will work for more than one account on the same computer.
Right, okay.
But that seems to me to be the easiest thing to fix, is, you have one shared library with multiple playlists.
Yeah.
But, no, we've not seen that yet. So it's a bit like cut and paste on the iPhone. It's one of those things you just expect will happen.
Yeah.
And they seem to think it wasn't necessary, so it got delayed until version 3.
It weighs in at almost 100 megabytes on the download.
And that's getting quite big. I've got to say, for a piece of software that just organises other pieces of software.
Yeah.
You're getting into the bloat factor there, and I'm never too fond of that. By the time you get up to version 9 of anything, it's time to launch a new one, quite frankly, because there's so much crustiness in there that it's just getting unstable, and
or at least bring out a light version, perhaps.
Well, exactly. All I want, I don't necessarily want the kids to have access to iTunes Music Library, so let's take that bit to the iTunes Music Store. Let's take that bit out of the library for a light version. Just have something that manages your music and your video clips. That'd be great. I'd love that. I've got 50 different bits of software trying to do that at the moment, and they all fight and squabble amongst themselves, and it gets really quite tedious.
And finally, breaking news this morning, Twitter looked like they're coming up with a model to make money.
Well, you would hope for one of the most popular bits of software launched in the last 3 or 4 years, that they would be making money, and eventually they hope that, yes, quite possibly they will be adding what they describe as revenue-generating features in the fourth quarter of this financial year, so it's early next year. So there's little information on it. I can't figure out how they'll make money short of just charging people or charging companies, for instance, to use more services. One of the things they're talking about is an analytics dashboard, which will help businesses keep track of what's being tweeted about them, which would be quite nice. And I would use that. I already have one. I've got a thing called a search, and I use Google for that, and it comes up with quite a good list of who's talking about what, where, and when, and then I reply to everyone.
Indeed.
So, yeah, it's a good thing, but I wonder how they're actually going to make cash out of it, given that it's already out there for free.
We'll see. Thanks very much, Paul.
No problem.
Paul Brislen is our high-tech correspondent at audent.wordpress.com.